Hello everyone and welcome to another review. Today we're going to go ahead and review a fragrance from the house of Nautica. It is none other than Nautica's Voyage, or Nautica Voyage. You can see here it's got a very simple bottle presentation. It's just solid glass. It says Nautica Voyage on the front and kind of has this, it's flat on the front and it has this kind of curve around. But either way, the bottle is, pretty decently designed. There's nothing really to scream out about it. Nothing positive or really negative about it. And the one thing of note is I've noticed the cap is really easy to come off. So if you're not careful, it's just kind of locks into place with this small little snap, but it easily comes off. So be careful with that. Now, this is the 3.4. It's available in two main sizes, 1.7 or 3.4, or 50 milliliters or 100 milliliters, either one. The retail price for this one, the 3.4 is $58, and the 1.7 is $44. You can find this much cheaper. If you look around anywhere, if you just do some cursory searching, you can find the 3.4 for around $17 and the 1.7 for around $14. So it's pretty cheap as far as a fragrance goes. It's as cheap as you're going to get. And I actually believe that it does it a little bit of a disservice, but I'll get to that a little bit later. Okay? So the fragrance was launched in 2006, and the parfumé is Maurice Rousseau, who has actually created a lot of other fragrances that many people know for. Nautica Voyage is one of them. He's usually known for, New Harlem is another. He's usually known for creating these dark fragrances, sweet fragrances, gourmandy type of a fragrance. But this one's a little bit different because it's an aquatic. It's a little bit of it's a lighter fragrance. It's a more fresh fragrance, and he does actually a great job in it, which I'll actually get to. All right. So, with all that kind of out of the way, let's get into the notes for this fragrance. The notes for this fragrance consist of, for our top, we have green leaves, apple. For our mid, we have mimosa and lotus, and for our base, we have amber, musk, oak moss, and cedar. Right, so when you spray this right off the bat, the first impression that I get, if I'm to give just the overall general impression right off the bat without even thinking of anything else, with no notes or anything like that, I get a nice salty, sea breezy, green apple-ish type of a scent that has a little bit of greenness to it. Overall, I do get a nice sea scent coming from it, which really fits with the vibe with Nautica and Voyage. You think of Nautica and you think the sea, you think sailing, you think all those things that are kind of associated with it. And the fact that this has a nice sea breezy type of a scent or sea saltiness to it really helps come across that image of Nautica, and I think it really does it a great service to it. So at the top, I get a little bit of green apple, a little bit of green leaves, and that sea saltiness. Now there is no sea salty note for it. I'm not sure what it's coming from. Maybe it's the mimosa. I don't know what that actually smells like, so I can't really say for sure what it is. I do smell lotus in it though, and the lotus comes in it without being too floral. So once you get past a little bit of that green apple niche, you start to get a little bit more of the floral notes, but the floral, again, it comes across as unisex. It's not really an in-your-face type of floral. The base is kind of remainder through it, so the amber, the musk, you don't really get those specifically, except for the fact that they're holding everything else up. The sea saltiness and the green apple that you kind of smell is kind of what you get throughout the entire fragrance. And the fragrance lasts, which is one of the best things about this fragrance, especially considering that it's a freshie, especially considering that it's definitely one of those aquatic type of a scents. Aquatics usually don't last long at all, and that's one of my biggest knocks for aquatics. This one is one of the exceptions to it. This one lasts anywhere between 8 and 12 hours on my skin, so it lasts a long time, and it retains the initial type of a smell that you smell coming off of it. One of the knocks that kind of comes from this fragrance is a lot of people have this image of what a synthetic smell kind of smells like, and I don't like to use the word synthetic. See, there goes the cap. I don't like to use the word synthetic because of the fact that all fragrances in some way or another are synthetic. But I can say about this fragrance is that it doesn't smell as natural as most other fragrances might come across as smelling. And so that's that's probably the only knock that I really have on this fragrance. But even that is kind of reaching and stretching, because if you're not a person who has just smelled a ton of fragrances and gone through, then you're probably not even going to notice it. So completely ignore that sentiment if that's your case. All right. So spray wise, I generally go about anywhere between 2 and 5 sprays on this. You can get really generous on it because even if you go heavy, it's not one that's going to choke people out. It's not one that's going to really offend people. It's a very pleasant smelling scent that it really has a tough time offending people. The one note that I might say might offend people if they do get offended by it is the musk, because it can kind of smell a little bit weird depending on your skin. So give it a try, as always with all scents. Season-wise, this is summer. Summer right there and all over it. I personally wouldn't wear it for any other month. Maybe spring, maybe, but the summer months when it gets hot is really when this fragrance really shines for it. It gives it, that nice sea breezy type of a scent that will cool things down. It'll make things a lot more chill, smell good. It's great for those occasions. Speaking of occasions, it's highly versatile. You can wear it dating, casual, to the gym, going out, nighttime, you name it, you can wear it as long as it's in the summer months. I think it's perfectly fine for it. Occasion-wise, highly versatile on that area. So definitely look at this one. Age group, any age group can wear this. In fact, I think this is almost a perfect fragrance for younger people. Even though older people can wear it perfectly fine, I'm not saying that, but I'm saying that it is a perfect fragrance for your younger gentlemen or your younger people that are coming up. And performance, I kind of touched on it. You have good projection, good sillage, and you have great longevity, spanning between 8 and 12 hours usually on my skin. Sometimes a little bit more, sometimes a little bit less, I guess you could say, on the 8-hour range, right? So what people thought of this fragrance is, with all of my fragrances, I take it out to Times Square, have people smell it, 100 different people smell it, usually try and kind of get it as even as I can to 50 males, 50 females. This one, overwhelmingly positive. I think this might be the highest rated one that I've gone through and rated. But 92 people liked it out of 100. Out of 100, they said that it was fresh and that it was clean. Those were the two most positive scents that are positive things that they said about it. Fresh and clean, fresh and clean, fresh and clean was the two most positive ones. 4 people disliked it. The people that disliked it, they said that it was too alcohol-y. Said that it smelled too much like alcohol, and they said that it was a little bit too unpleasant, were those main comments. And 4 people thought that it was neutral. So if I'm going to go ahead and give this one a rating, I give it a rating. Now, I've got to confess something. With a lot of the scents, I kind of oscillate between something that I view as I view some fragrances as objective, more from a detached standpoint, and some fragrances more from I like this fragrance type of a standpoint, so I'm going to give it this kind of rating, and I kind of mix it in and I give myself that liberty for it. This one is more where I'm taking a step back and looking at it as a fragrance. I give this fragrance a rating of a 10 out of 10. I give it a rating of a perfect 10 for a couple main reasons actually that are actually put in there. One, the price. You cannot beat the price. You're basically just paying for shipping, and you're paying for like $5 for this and the rest on shipping when you really think about it for it. Extremely accessible in terms of price. In terms of smell, the smell is excellent. I absolutely love the smell. I think the price actually negatively impacts the scent. Because of the fact that it smells so or that it's priced for so cheap, people tend to think that, oh, this is a cheap fragrance, I'm smelling something cheap. I think that's a folly. And that's why I think the fact that they priced it so low and the fact that it's priced so low is a little bit misleading and does this fragrance a disservice. If this was going for, $80 or, $100 from some other designer company, this would be definitely up there in the ranks and you'd be hearing it shouted to the heavens. So, yeah, I think price negatively impacts this. Don't be fooled by the price. You're getting a quality scent when you buy this. It's the smell, and the final thing is the longevity for this. Longevity, most scents that are like in this vein, they don't last long, but on my skin, this one lasts a long time. And for that, I give it a perfect 10. All that said, this isn't in my rotation for my top of all my summer scents. It's not in my rotation simply because I have other things that I do like better. But I do recognize that this is an excellent fragrance that you absolutely should pick up, if you're in the need for summer fragrances. Okay? So, any questions whatsoever, please feel free. Leave me a note, send me a message, do whatever you gotta do. Thank you, take care of yourselves, and have a great day.